I'm back at you again. I don't know. Lately, I've been thinking with everything that's going on. Um, Maybe it's about time I reread this book again. I don't know if anybody's familiar with this. Behold a Pale Horse. This is written by William Cooper, or you know, co-author. But if you know about Behold a Pale Horse, um, you can kind of almost. It's almost kind of like everything he spoke on or he wrote about is happening or it's similar to our days of our lives, our lifestyle now, how the world is being run. So I decided to get back to it, read it again. I read this book about maybe 10 years ago. um I've started reading it. I think I'm only about 45 pages in. It's about, man, it's almost about 500 pages altogether with proof and evidence of, I would say, historical events, stuff that he has seen or has happened with during his time in the in the force. But what I wanted to share is this part of the book is what I want to share. Okay, I'm actually going to read it directly from the book. Okay, so you kind of, it won't be my own words; it will be directly from the book. And if you know what I'm talking about, Rothschilds, those people, I like how they think. I like how they are futuristic. Their thought process is like, how can I conquer the world? I like that. I like the forward thinkers. People that see beyond the surface or prepare for the future. Okay, so then when you see everything that's happening, and when you read about them or you study them, everything makes sense. Okay, how they use money, not real money now, money, paper money. They use that to take real money. That would be your properties, your homes, assets, your natural commodities. So pretty much they just give you, let's say, um, a credit card. All right, I give you a credit card, which is not actual money. There's no money behind credit card. It's just a credit line. All right, you use it and you pay us back with real money. Get it? You getting it? All right. So a credit card is a great example, right? Where somebody is quote unquote giving you money, but it's not real money. When you think about it, it's really not real money, right? It's just digital money that somebody's giving you. In essence, or in turn, you pay back real money. That's what the real value is. Okay. But I'm going to read to you how the book kind of outlines certain things or how they equate certain things to, you know, to certain things. Okay, I don't want to give it up. I don't want to give it all up. I just want you to maybe read it yourself as well, and then maybe we can talk about it one day if we ever meet up. Okay, but this guy served in the force. He's been on the water. He's seen a lot of things. I'm talking about people from the outside world, if you want to call it aliens. He's seen that, whereby he was told not to speak on it again. Okay, he was told to not to speak on it. He has to sign a lot of documents stating that it's going to be kept kind of like a secret. He can't speak on it. I'm telling you, to the point where if he ever talks about it or speak about it, they are going to demonetize him. Nowadays, it's we call it demonetization, right? If you're on social media and you speak on things that the powers that be don't want you to speak on, they demonetize you. Well, back then, there wasn't anything like social media, right? So you have your job, your regular job, or demonetization back then would be, well, you're gonna lose your paycheck. You will lose your paycheck, okay? But what I got out of just the first 45 pages, okay? Let me read this to you, okay? Apparent capital as paper inductor, okay? Now, actually, let me go back, all right? This is in economics. These three energy concepts are associated with one, economic capacitance. All right, that is capital. Your capital is your money, stock, inventory, investments in buildings and durables. Two, economic conductance, goods. That is production flow coefficients. Three, economic inductance, that is services, the influence of the population of industry on output. All right. Here we are with somebody that sat down and compared humanity to energy, science, electricity. He's talking about capacitance, conductance, inductance, and he's equating that to capital, goods, and services. Okay, that is crazy. All right, again, economic capacitance is capital, money, stock, inventory, investments in buildings and durables. Economic conductance, that is goods, production flow coefficients. Economic inductance, services, the influence of the population of industry on output. All of the mathematical theory developed in the study of one energy system, example, mechanics, electronics, etc., can be immediately applied in the study of other energy systems, that is economics. Okay. What Mr. Rothschild had discovered was the basic principle of power, influence, and control over people as applied to economics. That principle is when you assume the appearance of power, people soon give it to you. When you assume the appearance of power, people soon give it to you. That is crazy, right? Like if you want people to see you as a doctor, you have to dress accordingly. If you want people to see you as a lawyer, you have to behave or dress accordingly. All right. Wearing a uniform and acting accordingly or according to how anybody in that uniform is supposed to behave, eventually people will see you as such. All right, that's what I got from that. So what he's saying is when you assume the appearance of power, people soon give it to you. All right, now in this structure, credit, presented as pure element called currency, has the appearance of capital, but it's in fact negative capital. Hence it has the appearance of service, but it's in fact indebtedness or debt. The final key to economic control had to wait until there was sufficient data and high-speed computing equipment to keep close watch on the economic oscillations created by price shocking and excess paper energy credits, paper inductance, inflation. Okay. It goes on and it says here, eventually every individual element of the structure comes under computer control through a knowledge of personal preferences. Such knowledge guaranteed by Computer Association of Consumer Preferences. Universal Product Code, UPC, zero stripe pricing codes on packages with identified consumers, identified via association with the use of credit card, and later a permanent tattooed body number, invisible under normal ambient illumination. All right, and later a permanent tattooed body number, invisible under normal ambient illumination. Okay, so it'll be permanent, it will be on your body, you can't really see it, just by looking at it, but with a little bit of light you may be able to see it. Okay, man, this book talks about a lot of things. All right, a lot of things. It talks about a lot of the weapons that we attain or we gain from people not from our world. Okay, we talk about technology, science that people from the outside brought to humanity. We never had that wisdom. We never had that knowledge. So it came from somewhere. It's called Behold the Pale Horse. I don't know if you ever come across this book. Get a copy and try to read it, and then everything that is happening will make sense to you. If you're not a religious person, you can read this. All right, but if you're a religious person, you can stick with your religious book. And then everything that is happening makes sense. Okay, you understand everything that's happening a lot more better. How these elites control us, how they stage war to gain more control. So all this war, everything that's happening now could just be smokescreen for something deeper, something more crazy, if you want to say it, happening behind closed doors. All right, the war itself is crazy enough, but that could just be the forefront, that could just be the cover-up of what is actually going on. So sometimes you gotta keep an open mind, man. Keep an open mind. Everything, keep your eyes open, keep your minds open, keep your hearts open but guarded, and then be open to everything, every knowledge. Just be open to it, because You know, all is one and one is all. When somebody's saying their story or telling you about their story, you can learn from it. And when somebody's telling you about how they think or what they're trying to do, you can also learn from it. So you can take all of that and then make the best out of it. But then I don't want to get into details with the book. I've already read it. I'm reading it again just to make sense of everything that's happening. But man, oh man, this book is important. If you know what happened to William Cooper, if you don't know, go Google it or look into it. But I also know that sometimes the devil can also, sometimes people can also write books or put up publication to deceive the masses even further, right? I have that wisdom to understand that not all publication or not all material is good for you. Okay, so you gotta have that wisdom of discernment, all right, to be able to tell what's good and what's bad. Okay, but that's all I came here to say, man. Everything that's happening is happening for a reason. There could be a major cover up, all right, but it could also be religious. It could be also be their way of ushering us into the digital currency. Okay, if they really want to go that route, that could be that way. It could be so many reasons, but the main reason wouldn't happen without distraction. Okay, and one way of distracting the people is war. Okay, I bet you a lot of people forgot about the Epstein file because we are focused on the war. All right, man. This your boy MOB, man. I'm